Hello and welcome to News Blitzer Global Desk. The Lawrence Bishnoi gang grabbed national headlines after its members killed Sidhu Moosewala, a rapper in Punjab last year, and NCP leader Sadiq recently, but has now made international headlines with Canada saying that the gang was involved in murders, homicides, and extortion in Canada, revealing the international network of the gang. Though there are several Indian origin gangs operating in Canada, the Bishnoi gang first attracted attention from the Five Eyes intelligence group consisting of UK, US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, after Bishnoi made a Facebook post taking credit for the murder of Sukhdev Singh Gill of the Davinder Bambia gang in Canada on September 20, 2023. Sukhdev was a rival gang member as well as a supporter of the Khalistani fringe in Canada. Later, following investigations by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, or RCMP, 4 men linked to the gang were arrested for the murder of Khalistani leader Hardeep Singh Nijjar in Canada last year. Sources close to the investigation also told CBC News that police are also investigating the links of the gang to the murder of Harpreet Uppal, 41, who was shot dead in his vehicle in Edmonton on November 9, 2023. His 11-year-old son Gavin too was killed in the shooting. The RMCP also hinted that the murder of Ripudaman Singh Malik in Surrey, British Columbia in 2022 was also the work of the gang at the behest of Indian agencies. Malik was acquitted in 2005 of mass murder and conspiracy charges related to bombings in 1985 that killed 331 people. He was gunned down outside his office in Surrey on July 14, 2022. But a CBC News report quoting internal sources said that Canadian investigators believe it's likely that both Malik and Nijjar were targeted by the government of India using criminal gangs. Last year, Goldie Brar, a close associate of gang leader Lawrence Bishnoi, who was earlier in Canada but has now gone underground and recently spotted in California, claimed to have ordered the murder of rap singer and politician Sidhu Moosewala, who attended Humber College and lived for some years in Brampton, Ontario. After establishing itself a major criminal gang in India, following the vacuum left behind by Dawood Ibrahim after he relocated to Pakistan, the gang has clearly expanded itself to North America. The modus operandi of the gang has been to send youth from Punjab and Haryana to Canada on student visas, and then involve them in criminal activities while failing to pursue any academic courses. The gang initially started in Canada by indulging in extortion. Former West Vancouver Police Chief Kash Heed told CBS, "Some of the information I'm very familiar with because the victims have spoken to me and they paid the demand. From what I understand, the contact is made through some type of international telephone line. It is made directly to affluent South Asian business people." He'd also said the extortionists often claimed links to Indian law enforcement, and that they were not only connected to the Bishnoi gang in India, but also connected to some of the criminal justice system in India, including police and judiciary. Millions of dollars have been paid to extortionists in British Columbia, with some victims receiving letters purportedly from the Bishnoi gang. The Bishnoi gang in Canada does its homework and knows the businesses of the people they are targeting. They also know if the targeted folk have relatives or property in India, especially in Punjab and Haryana. Though Bishnoi is not known to have visited Canada, prominent figures in his network have, and some of them are resident in Canada. This includes Bishnoi's brother Anmol Bishnoi and his associate Goldie Brar. Goldie Brar was at one point one of Canada's 25 most wanted. Before the police made any official statement about the Bishnoi gang's larger criminal involvement in political assassinations, a Canadian newspaper reported that the Bishnoi's men, allegedly at the behest of India's Research and Analysis Wing, RAW, carried out Nijjar's murder by sending assassins from Punjab to Canada. If the allegations are true, at some point the Bishnoi gang got entangled with Indian agencies in Canada and is now clandestinely working for the Indian government. Among allegations made by RCMP, Indian government agents are accused of collaborating with the Bishnoi gang to carry out political assassinations. What we have seen is the use of organized crime elements, RCMP Assistant Commissioner Brigitte Gauvin said at a press conference called by RCMP Commissioner Mike DeHume regarding the violence. It's been publicly attributed to one organized crime gang in particular. We believe the Bishnoi group is connected to the agents of the government of India, she said. Since September 2023, more than 13 times police in Canada felt that a threat to the life of someone was so serious and imminent they had to warn them. Duhaime said that most of the targets were Sikh members or supporters of the fringe pro-Khalistan movement in Canada. Conversations of Indian diplomats intercepted by Canadian authorities included references to a senior official in India and a senior official in RAW, according to the Post's report, which said that Canadian authorities had identified the senior official as Mr. Shah. Canadian police also say that the Indian government is using the friction and fighting between rival Indian gangs in Canada as cover to carry out assassinations. CBC sources also allege individuals with links to the Indian government have made extortion demands of Indo-Canadians for sums so exorbitant they appear to be intended merely to offer cover for subsequent acts of violence. Sources close to the investigation told CBC News that the killing of Nijjar by the Bishnoi gang was only a small part of a much larger operation. Other sources close to the investigation and Canadian government sources told CBC News they don't believe that such a risky operation involving not only India's intelligence service, the Research and Analysis Wing, RAW, but also its foreign service would proceed without approval from the very top of India's government. Speaking at a press conference in Ottawa on Monday, Mr. Trudeau and Foreign Minister Mélanie Joly and Public Safety Minister Dominic LeBlanc emphasized that the nature of the alleged violence caused by agents of the Indian government was ongoing, and that the reason the Canadian authorities precipitated a diplomatic situation was to disrupt the pattern after failing to obtain the cooperation of the Indian government. The Modi government has denied it ordered any extrajudicial killings in the US and Canada. However, Bloomberg reported in March that the Indian government had also given the US a report in which it acknowledged that Indian agents were involved in the US murder plot, but claimed they were rogue operatives. The Washington Post said Indian officials have also directly been involved in physical threats and coercion on people of Indian descent living in Canada, such as threatening to deny immigration documents as encouragement to spy on Sikh activists. US authorities also accuse India of using drug dealer Nikhil Gupta to hire a hitman to kill a Sikh activist, Gurpatwant Singh Panun, in New York. Surprisingly, despite being incarcerated in various Indian prisons for over a decade, Lawrence Bishnoi continues to run his criminal network, murder people, and even terrorize Bollywood superstars. He is currently lodged in a Gujarat jail, and questions are being asked as to how he is being allowed to conduct operations from within the jail premises where a phone is legally not allowed and visitors are restricted. News 18 reports that Bishnoi communicates with his aides via Daba calling and VoIP, while NDTV reports that he communicates with his colleagues in India and overseas from the jail via applications like Signal and Telegram. None of this can happen without the collusion of jail officials and thereby the government. Do let us know what you think of these latest revelations about the Bishnoi gang. Thank you for watching this video, and if you have not already done so, do subscribe to this channel and share it among your circles. Thank you once again.